Alright guys, welcome back to the video. Today's video we're going to go over hybrid training, hybrid fitness. What is a hybrid athlete? So, I would consider myself a hybrid athlete, one who prioritizes strength and endurance at the same time. And yeah, we're going to kind of get into it, the whole breakdown. A lot of y'all have been asking, what is hybrid training? I see you do it. I see all these guys like Nick Bear, Luke Hopkins, but I want to break down. Here we go. Hybrid means combining two different elements to create a single blended form. So in this case, we're talking about strength and endurance. Number one, max force output. Think about the ability to produce high power under a heavy load. Think about squatting, benching, stuff like that, where you're going to gain true strength and size. Then there's muscular hypertrophy, little stuff with increased muscle size for durability and performance. Think about when you're doing those mid to high rep stuff, where you're training your muscle to be under stress, but for slightly longer than just those 3 to 4 reps. Think about like anywhere from that 6 to 8, maybe even the 8 to 10 range. So you're making your muscles more durable. And then also structural resilience. This stuff means like stronger joints, stronger tendons, and stronger connective tissue, making yourself a stronger individual and have a good base so you can take a hit. So it's kind of strength. I consider myself definitely with more a strength background more than endurance though. But for endurance, there's a few things. One, aerobic capacity. This is how the ability to sustain long duration things such as like running or biking, doing cardio, you can say. And the best way to explain this is your heart rate zones. I'll make sure to put a picture of heart rate zone chart on the screen. But pretty much there's 5 zones. Zone 1 through 5. Zone 1 you can hold for hours. Think about we're going on a super easy walk. Stuff like that. Zone 2, which is what I typically love to do, which is where you can maintain it for maybe an hour or so, maybe an hour to 2 hours. Think about it's where you build your base, where most of your stuff should be done for endurance training to build your aerobic capacity, like I said before. Zone 3, think about your more tempo-ish stuff, slightly above a zone 2. You can hold it for maybe an hour or so, where it's just a little more taxing on your body, but you're still getting fitness too, but it's a little bit harder. And then there's zone 4, which is your tempo, like the threshold work, where you're going faster. You can only hold it for probably definitely less than an hour, probably only like maybe 20 30 minutes. Those elite guys come up for an hour for sure because their heart is a lot more efficient. But think about you're doing some tempo work where you're running mile repeats, 800-meter repeats, stuff like that. And then there's zone 5, VO2 max, maximum effort threshold, where you're ripping it. You can only hold it for maybe a few minutes to maybe 10 minutes max, or even just 30 seconds. Think about 100-meter sprints. Think about hill sprints, stuff like that. So heart rate zone, this is how you determine like how efficient and how much capacity you have, how long you can go for. So the higher VO2 max, the more stuff, like more aerobic base you have, the farther you can go, the faster you can go, the longer you can go. So there's that. Muscular endurance. So to be able to repeat contractions over a long distance time. Think about running, think about biking. Those things, they take so long. Think about running a marathon. The average marathon time is 4 hours and 30 minutes. Imagine running 4 hours and 30 minutes. That's a long time. I've been there. I ran a 4:17 marathon. Now, was that slower than I wanted? Yes. But did I run a just over 4 hour marathon? Yes, that is true, and that is awesome. Your body gets more efficient and is able to endure more. And also, cardiac efficiency, stronger stroke volume, and longer working heart rate. Think about eventually you become more efficient. Like guys like Nick Bear, who've been running and lifting, but more they're lifting, yes, but more than running. He's been running a lot more recently. He has such a deeper base in running, and he's so much more efficient. Even though he's 30 pounds more heavier than me, and he's sitting at 205, sitting at 175, because he's been running for so much longer and has logged so many more miles. He has such a deeper base, and he is a lot more efficient. He might go run 5 miles at a 7:30 pace at a 125 heart rate. If I go do that, my heart's gonna be 165, 170 the whole time. Just you become more efficient. There's a few ways you can integrate this. You want to balance intensity and volume. You can't go all out on one. You can't go all out on both, I should say, and expect to get results. You can't put all your eggs. You can put all your eggs in one basket, but you can't put all your eggs in all your baskets. That's what they say. So being able to balance. So let's say you want to bench, 315. You might push more strength in a season than you will endurance that season, you could say. Or vice versa. Let's say you're training for a half marathon, you might push more endurance and lay off the strength a little bit. So there's that. And then also zone 2 progression plus strength training. This is kind of what I'm doing right now. And so where I am, my goal right now is to just get stronger. Right now, put on some size a little bit, but also maintain my aerobic base. I was just at Kanaka camps this past summer, and I wasn't able to run as much, but I did the row machine a ton, which was able to maintain my base while also getting stronger. So just eventually, if you keep doing zone 2, it's kind of the gray zone, you could say. It kind of stinks because you're not really making any. It doesn't seem like a lot of progress, but the fact that you're keeping that same efficiency while getting bigger and adding size actually does make a lot of progress and make you seem way more efficient. Because if I can run the same pace, same heart rate, but I can be 5 pounds heavier in like 2 months, I'm actually way fitter than I was before. Because let's say I lost that weight, I'd be even faster. But you get the point. And then of course, recovery prioritization. This is key because if you're doing strength and endurance at the same time, you could say there's a lot more toll on your body. Think about it. If you just lift once a day, yes, you're going to be sore. But if you run and lift, let's say you got a tempo workout, and then you got a push session. Next day you're hitting legs, and you got something else. And then the next day you're doing an hour bike ride. Stuff like that, you're going to have to recover and prioritize recovery so much more. Rather than solid cold lunch. But mostly the important thing is sleep. I try to get a minimum of 8 hours sleep every day. Plus, if I can, at least a 2-hour nap. So recovery is key. And so, next I'm wondering why would you want to train hybrid? There's a few reasons. One, you're stronger and you're better conditioned. What's the point if you can bench 405 pounds but you can't even run a 10-minute mile, you could say? Or what's the point if you can run a 430 mile but you can't even bench 100 or 135 pounds? You want to be able to balance both and be more well-rounded. And so you also have a higher work capacity. You can do more in the same amount of time. You are more durable under load, so you can put more load on you in that time. And you become efficient across multiple areas. So this is what I love the most because I have, since you could say going hybrid the past year, both I have gained size. Now also strength has been mostly, I could say they're different seasons. I would say my fall season and winter season, I was still hitting strength, but also more prioritized endurance where I was training for a marathon and an ultra marathon. But when the spring hit, strength was mainly the main priority, endurance took a backseat. So the fun thing about this is you can have multiple seasons of it, which is really cool. And so I would say right now, I'm definitely more back in the strength phase because like I said before, last video, or you've probably been hearing me talk on social media, I tweaked my anterior delt on my left. It took me about hit 225, tweaked it, kept hitting it, didn't work out. Had to take 5 weeks off. Was definitely a bummer. But now that we can fully lift again after a full week back, we're definitely 100% healed, which is great. And so I'm back in this more strength phase. But during that, when I wasn't running or when I wasn't lifting as much except for legs, I was more prioritizing running. And the good thing also is I wasn't really running high mileage, only like 25, 30 miles a week at the most for those 3 or 4 weeks, or no, 5 or 6 weeks. But I was pushing a lot of vert, which is a little more taxing, but it made me so much better. Because here in Fayetteville, where I am in Arkansas, going to college, you can't escape the hills. They are so hilly. Like today, I did a tempo session to Fartlek, and I still had 479 feet of vert on this tempo session. On this Fartlek workout, which is crazy. Because back home outside of my buddy Tristan, who ran with me, my roommate, he was saying that they would have maybe sniff 20 feet of vert on a regular run, which is crazy. So, stronger and better condition, higher work capacity, durable under load, and efficient across multiple areas. And so, how would you structure this? You would say there's 3 things. 1, have a goal in mind. Don't just be training to train. I mean, you can. I did that for a while, but have a goal in mind. Doesn't mean you always be training for a goal, but have something like, all right, I want to get stronger, not just I want to lift. I want to get stronger, or I want to get faster, stuff like that. So for me right now, my goal is to get stronger and just keep my running volume where it is. For me, that's around 20-ish miles a week, which is where I'm actually still gaining fitness from it and slowly getting faster, which is really happy. But somebody like Kalai Bina would not be gaining fitness if he did this because he's already had such a deeper base and needs more to sustain that. So A, have a goal in mind. B, make a plan. You gotta have a plan for that goal. You can have a goal, but if you have no plan to actually execute it, you're never gonna go anywhere. And then three, be flexible. Things are gonna pop up. You're gonna miss session. It's okay. But as long as you keep yourself accountable and do majority of the work that needs to be done, you will strive to that goal. So, yeah, this is kind of the hybrid overview. I kind of hope you guys enjoyed. Just kind of a quick brain dump I had this afternoon. Like I said before, I'm new to this. I'm on this for about a year. In this time, I've ran a marathon. I ran a 4:17 marathon, and I also ran a 50-kilometer backyard ultra that was pretty much done by myself, like self-crew, except for my boy Hayden. Shout out Hayden Gill. But yeah, this is the hybrid, you could say, mecca. I definitely think down the road, there's 3 things I want to do as my bucket list for this. I want to run a 100-miler. My dad ran 100 miles when I was 2 years old. I thought I was like, oh, that's crazy, but I didn't really appreciate it. So I look back now, he ran over 50 ultras, ran a 100-miler, 100K, all that stuff. He actually started his own ultra marathon, Pedal Scorcho. He ran it for a decade. It started at midnight on July 16th, which is his birthday. Every year he did it for a decade. It was a 50K at night in Fort Worth, and he grew to 2,000 people at one point. I didn't really get to appreciate that because I never liked running it at all until this past year. And so I definitely want to run a 100-miler and just have that chip on my shoulder because he's got me there. B, I want to definitely do a full Ironman sometime after college. Just takes a lot of time, like literally 20-hour weeks for 20+ weeks for sure. Plus you got to do a half before that and just get ready. Then also I want to break 3 in the marathon. I definitely think all those can be done by the time I'm 30. I know I got a few years where right now I'm getting stronger. You could say strength is definitely the goal, at least this fall season. I do have a race coming towards the end of the semester, which I can't say yet, but that volume will start wrapping up probably late September, early October. Probably going to do like a 10 to 12 week prep on that. So then it'll kind of shift from more strength focus to back to endurance focus. The cool thing is you can bounce back and forth these in different seasons of life. You don't got to be stuck for this for the whole time. But for me, for sure, strength is my background. I can definitely stand a gym right now, get to 25 on bench, throw with that. Right now I'm sitting around 172 pounds. I'm actually kind of light just because I'm doing so much right now in college, running around, literally getting like 30,000 steps a day, plus I'm running. So that'll do it to you. But yeah, that's going to kind of conclude the video. I hope you liked this little brain dump section. Let me know if I should do more of these. I'm going to break some stuff down. So I don't know. I'll catch you later. Like and subscribe. We're almost at 100 subscribers. So would love to hit that by the end of this video. I'm going to spread the news, spread the channel. And then also just something that was on my mind recently was just be contagious. My roommates and my guys I've gotten really close with this past week are like always like, dude, I just love being around you because you are just so contagiously good. And so my thought was like, why would you not want to be the best you could always be? So be good, because that's what the Lord called you to do, and spread the good news. So on that note, I'll catch you later. Keep stacking A. Let's go. Peace.